think the stress of like working 2 jobs, going to school, having all of these things on me, I remember feeling like the weight of the world was on my shoulders. So that's when like my drug addiction got really bad. And I started out just like anybody else does, with painkillers. It was truly when I started to shoot the drugs, becoming an intravenous drug user, that I knew without a doubt in my mind that I was addicted to these drugs.
I started using at 14, and it was basically to fill something that I felt I was missing. My lowest point was when I got into an accident, and my friend and passenger in the vehicle, he passed away in that accident. I was under the influence of ice, and from there, things just snowballed.
My $100 a day habit turned into $200, $300, $400. I think one of the hardest things for me was coming home one day after work and just seeing this big lock on my door and a sign that says repossessed. I had no choice. I ended up staying on the streets.
I just pretty much turned away from my 2 children, from the life I had, family, that all of that didn't matter. I just kind of delved deep into the drugs, and next thing you know, I was locked up. After prison, my parole officer, she sat down with me and she told me, I need you to go into a program. I felt like I needed to just approach this time as like I've never been in treatment before.
So there was one night, I was at the bus stop on River Street, had a backpack with a couple of pieces of clothes and a Bible a friend had given me. So I opened the Bible. The first scripture I saw was in the book of James. And it said, you do not have because you do not ask. Me being a little skeptical, but having nothing else left to rely on, I closed my eyes and I prayed. And I told God this, all right, God, if you're real, I'm hungry, give me a sandwich. And I ended the prayer. And it wasn't even half an hour later that I saw a bunch of young adults going around to the different homeless that were on the street there. They introduced themselves. Hi, we're so-and-so, we're from the Salvation Army. And one of the girls asked, are you hungry? I was like, yeah. She puts a sandwich there. And I just remember kind of thinking in my head like, okay, are you really real? Is this really happening? And as soon as they left, picked up the sandwich. And it was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And in the back of it, there was this card. It was like a business card. So I called the number, spoke to the intake counselor, and told me exactly what I needed to do. Did 7 days of detox, and I entered the ARC.
I started to believe or to dream of actually attending school. I graduated on May 12th. I got my cap and gown. I had to try it on for size the other day. I've never worn a cap and gown ever before in life. I guess I'm graduating with honors.
We're really blessed, and as she graduates and gets to work full-time, it's only going to get better.
The people that we help aren't just some distant person that we have no connection with or no relationship with. They're really a part of our community. They're part of our family. They're part of our Ohana.
If it weren't for the Salvation Army, I wouldn't be alive. Because if I didn't end up there, I don't know where I would have ended up. Because I didn't care before I went in there.
So I finished the ARC, and I remember just thinking, what's next? What does God have in store for me? So I remember coming in here one night, getting onto the altar, and just asking God, okay, God, whatever you have planned for me, just give me the faith to follow through with it. I woke up the next morning, the warehouse supervisor came up to me, asked me, hey Kenneth, do you know how to use a computer? Yeah, I do. Well, your WTA changes, and you're gonna be the next dispatcher. And if you do well, we're gonna hire you. So I did it, and I was hired by the Salvation Army ARC as the dispatcher. I moved out of the ARC, and then God found it fit for me to come back. Captain Ron, who was the administrator at the time, came up to me. He told me this, Kenneth, we need an assistant resident manager. Would you be willing to come back? And I remember just kind of looking at him in just amazement, and I was like, are you kidding me? I just moved out of the ARC, why would I come back? I did what the ARC taught me to do. So I prayed about it for about a week. And I definitely found that God found it fit for me to come back. And in August, I became the resident manager.
When I look at Kenneth, I'm just so proud, not only of what the Salvation Army has done, but what Kenneth has done. He has overcome incredible odds to find a new life.
If it weren't for the Salvation Army, I'd be dead. It didn't give me back my life. It gave me a life worth living.